Good evening, everyone. Hello, I'm James Andrews, Head of Performance Talent for British Rowing, and thank you for joining me tonight for this webinar explaining the Women's Development Programme. Before we start, just a quick note that we'll be answering questions at the end of the presentation, but please use the question box to ask your questions as we go through the presentation this evening. Richard, who is our Performance Talent Coach, will be keeping an eye on the questions as they come in, and we'll put them forward at the end. So, to start off, just to give everyone a bit of context, the Women's Development Programme is one of our programmes that sits as part of Performance Talent, and it's an evolution of the Women's Training Days that we have run in previous years. Performance Talent itself is part of the Performance Directorate at British Rowing, and we work to support rowers who show potential to take their first steps onto their performance journey. We are separate to World Class Start, the High Performance Programmes, and the Junior and Under 23 programmes, although some of our work does cross over and collaborate in certain projects. A great example of that being the J16 camp, where we support our junior coaches. We focus on rowers already in clubs, schools and universities to support them, their coaches and clubs develop and expand on their potential. With all these programmes, our general focus is on J15s to under 23 age groups in small to medium-sized clubs, but we do occasionally work with larger programmes in some instances as well. We also work with and support coaches of these programmes as well as rowers. This is to make sure we are developing the sport more widely as best we can. Along with this, we try to make sure our programmes are as inclusive as they can be to help improve the diversity of participants on the pathway. So, quick one to start off. What is the Women's Development Programme? In short, it is a year-long programme delivered over a series of practical days, virtual sessions, and a camp at the end. It looks to support the development of women's rowing and those who coach women's rowing by inspiring, encouraging, and assisting them to be the best they can be. To give the best impact, we tailor the programme for both rowers and coaches, so each leave with a positive experience. And on the slide, you can read what we aim to achieve for both groups. Each can sign up independently of each other. Rowers don't have to worry if they don't have a coach to attend with, or if you're a coach who would like the opportunity to learn from other coaches, you don't have to worry about having a rower who meets our criteria. So why have we got a Women's Development Programme? So without going into lots of detail, we know more men than women progress on the performance pathway, even though our membership for the J14 to under 23 age groups is actually quite similar. With this, and with complete parity between the women's and men's boats classes at the Olympic level, it is more important than ever we work to give more women the opportunity to progress on our pathway. This programme is just part of British Rowing's work to give women and their coaches more opportunities to show their potential and inspire more women to be the best they can be. So, looking at who the programme is for. So, as long as you meet the criteria here, we don't mind if you've been rowing for a month or years. Your technical ability on the water or your boat speed doesn't impact who can attend. We do, however, have following criteria for attending. This helps us focus in on those women who have the biggest potential of progressing on our performance pathway. We do have an age limit, which is because we know if you're starting on the journey of moving up the performance pathway, it will take an average of 4 to 8 years to make the senior team, depending on where you start. This is why we have the maximum age. We also know we can't accurately assess someone's potential until a certain age. So we encourage anyone below the J15 age group to to focus on doing the basics really well first, whilst enjoying being on the water and having fun in boats. We don't want to rush anyone onto the performance pathway before they are ready. We do have a height limit as well, as we know what generally is the minimum height of female rowers in the Olympic teams. We also have a simple ergo test to roughly gauge someone's power output with minimal variables between tests. This is a simple short ergo to minimize the impact that technique and fitness may have on the results. We do get asked a lot, why do we have criteria for attending if this isn't talent spotting? So the programme is funded by Sport England to help support more women onto the performance pathway. We need to be able to limit numbers attending and focus on those who have the most potential to go as far as possible up the pathway. We also want to make sure the experience on the day is as valuable as possible to those attending, so we need to limit those numbers. We do also want to support wider women's rowing, however, which is why we encourage coaches with or without an athlete to attend to gain experience, knowledge, and sharing good practice, and take back the learnings from the day to their programmes. It's important to note that this criteria may be updated as we will have to limit numbers due to coronavirus, and a statement on how numbers will be reduced if we need to will be put on the Women's Development Programme page when sign-ups go live on Friday. So, an important question we want to answer is, where do we see rowers progressing from the programme? So first off, we really want to help rowers develop as much as possible in their home club and support a natural transition that is effective when they are ready and if it is appropriate. The aim is to support rowers onto the next stage of the performance pathway, where typically they would work towards the under-23 level, but we acknowledge that many won't take that step. So it's important the experience is great for everyone. We want to make sure they remain in the sport no matter the level they row at, or if they decide to support the sport in other ways, such as coaching. Most importantly, we want rowers to develop as much as possible in their home club. This will not only help them develop in an environment that they are used to and comfortable with, it will also help develop coaches and clubs learn new approaches to develop more rowers in the future. If appropriate and at the right time, we would support rowers in transitioning to a new club. We want these to be natural transitions, so this might be when you are moving from junior to senior, moving home, or simply wishing to move to a larger programme. This would always be a discussion with the rower, coach and club about the best opportunities for the rower to progress. So, how does the programme work? So the programme is split into a series of practical and virtual sessions. We are also aiming to host a camp at the end of the year to bring together a smaller number of coaches and rowers from the programme, and more details about that will be made available in 2021. Each of the practical days focuses on a different subject. So the first day is Fundamentals of Power, and that's learning how to move efficiently to perform a more powerful stroke. The second day is focused on strength and conditioning. So that's looking to know how to correctly and safely increase power output. And the last day is focused on small boat technical development. And that's discovering how to improve coordination and efficiently move a boat. In addition to the practical days, there will be virtual sessions tailored to both coaches and rowers. Coaches will have 2 sessions for each practical day. So prior to each day, there will be a national technical webinar delivered by Richard, who's our performance talent coach, giving you a quick overview of what the technical focus will be on the day. The second day will be a regional network forum for coaches to share experience, ask questions, and discuss any other aspects of women's rowing. For rowers, there will be 1 virtual session that follows on from each of the practical days. Here, rowers will not just be joined by both the Women's Development Programme coaches for the region, but also a member of the GB rowing team. Here, rowers from your region will come together to discuss progress, challenges, and share experience with the others in your region, as well as having a focus topic for discussion. Anyone on our performance talent programs is also invited to use our rower report. The report shows a unique profile for an athlete and allows them to assess their areas of strength, areas for improvement, as well as where you currently stand against trial standards. And this will also be a requirement for attendance to the camp, so these will need to be completed if you also wish to attend the camp, but more information as well as testing protocols are available on the website in the link provided. The link will also be sent out in a follow-up email after the presentation. One thing we would really like to promote is the amazing group of experienced coaches leading on the delivery of the Women's Development Programme. Coming from a range of backgrounds, including universities, clubs and school coaches, as well as DICE tutors and positions in other regional and national programmes. I'm sure some of you will hopefully recognise a few names and faces on this list. Everyone here shares our drive to bring more women into the sport and to support them in being the best they can be. Something new that we are bringing to the programme as well for 2021 is our group of support coaches. We are bringing a really varied, exciting group of inspiring coaches together to support the Women's Development Programme. Everyone here has been chosen because they show the drive to inspire and challenge everyone on the programme to really push the development of women's rowing. These coaches have a wide range of experience, including work backgrounds and across multiple sports. We have coaches who have experience working with and inspiring women in equestrian, sailing, football, rugby, and hockey at a range of levels. We are really looking forward to them all sharing their experience and passion for developing women's sport and supporting others on our performance pathway. So that is a very quick overview and explanation of what our Women's Development Programme is. And in summary, it is a year-long programme delivered over a series of practical days, virtual sessions, and a camp. It looks to support the development of women's rowing and those who coach women's rowing by inspiring, encouraging, and assisting them to be the best they can be. We will be opening sign-ups to the programme this coming Friday at 4, and we will close sign-ups on Friday the 20th at 9 AM. The sign-up link will be shared in the follow-up email after the presentation, and you could also go to the Women's Development Programme page as well, which is shown on the screen. We will be doing our best to continue with the programme through coronavirus and making sure we do our best to mitigate any risks associated with that. With this in mind, we are having to limit numbers lower than normal this year for the programme. A statement will go up on Friday with sign-ups to explain how we will limit numbers if we are oversubscribed for any region. And that is the explanation. So, Richard, if you're still there, hopefully you are.
I am.
Have there been any questions put forward? Or if anybody would like to ask questions, this is now your opportunity. We'll give it a few seconds, as sometimes it does take 10 to 20 seconds, a bit of a delay for things to come through. So we will just wait a little bit to see if there are any questions that come in. If anybody does have any questions that they think of after the presentation has ended and would like to come forward with their questions, my contact email is on the screen, as well as my Twitter username. If you'd like to contact me on Twitter, that is also possible. Doesn't look like we're going to get any questions coming in, so hopefully I've explained the programme really well for everybody. So Richard, I see we've got a question come up about the camps.
We have.
Yeah. So,
here we go. Wow, what are the costs associated with the camps?
So at the moment with coronavirus, we're not entirely sure, but we are going to try and keep the cost of the camp itself down to as minimal as possible. There is no other cost associated with the Women's Development Programme. You can sign up for free. All the practical days, the virtual sessions are all free. Yeah, there's no cost associated with the other days. There will be a cost associated with the camp, but we can't say, but we will keep it to as minimal a cost as possible.
All right, we've got another quite interesting one come in, which we might have to do some explaining about. It says, we have a coach who has taken a level 2 course but hasn't yet done his assessment, is he eligible for this program?
Yes. Essentially, we won't be, we don't ask for what people's qualifications are. We simply want people who are keen to learn, basically. So no qualifications needed to be able to sign up for the program.
Quite an interesting one. Following that up, how would we support athletes with the idea of becoming a coach?
So that's a good question. And probably not one I can answer accurately, as it will be different for each person, but that would be an ongoing conversation with athletes, and that would be a conversation between each of the lead coaches, support coaches, and the athlete themselves to see how they most like to progress.
Brilliant. Another one here. Are the training days through the year, are they in the week or are they at weekends?
So the practical days themselves will be at the weekends, and all the dates should be now up on the Women's Development Programme page. So there is a side box and you can click on each of the regions. The practical days will be during the day. Because of the lockdown, we have made the decision to make the first day virtual. So that's going to be an interesting challenge for all of us to pull off. It's going to be an exciting time to try and trial that. The virtual sessions either side will be in the evening, and they will be a lot shorter. So those will be about an hour long. So those virtual sessions will be in the evening. They vary between regions. So hopefully that answers the question.
All right, yeah, I think so. It looks like the questioning has dried up. No more coming in at the moment.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you everybody. Well, my contact details are on the screen if anybody does have any further questions that'd like to get in touch with me. Just leaves me to remind everybody we have 3 more webinars coming up in the autumn series. We've got the second part of our technical spotlight on the finish, which is going to be on November 10th at 7 o'clock with Ryan Domain from Headington School. Part 1 is currently gone up on the British Rowing Plus site, so you'll be able to find part 1 there. Second webinar we have coming up is Row Development looking at female athlete health on November 18th at 7 o'clock, and that's with Sarah Mosley, who is the lead physiologist from the GB rowing team. And lastly, our last webinar before Christmas will be on November 25th at 7 o'clock, which is Row Development looking at masters rowing with Rosie McLaughlin of the FISA Executive Committee. So we've got 3 very exciting webinars coming up. That just leaves me to say
we've got 2 more everybody.
Questions. Oh, we've got 2 more questions coming.
Yeah, sorry, yeah,
brilliant.
That's when you think they've all dried up. So can the athletes and coaches pick and choose which day to attend, or are they required to commit to the full year program?
So we'd like people to commit to the full year program. We'd like to see athletes use each of the days, because each of the days are a continuation from the previous one. So we would like athletes to sign up for the whole year program, because that's how we think people are going to get the most benefit out of the program. So we would like to see people sign up to the year-long program.
Brilliant. Another one here. How does this program affect rowers who are or have been on the current women's development program? So if they've done these days in the past.
So they're more than welcome to attend and come back. Unfortunately, last year, due to the lockdown, we didn't actually run the 3rd day. That had to be cancelled. So hopefully people will gain more from this year. We're adding additional sessions to bring out more interaction with the athletes. We're offering them greater opportunities to discuss with other athletes around the region. So hopefully going through the year, they'll see the full benefit of attending each of the days and see the continuation from each of the days moving forward, with the hope that we'll be able to run a camp at in the summer of next year.
All right.
I think that's everything, isn't it, Richard?
Looks like it.
Brilliant. Thank you, everybody. That just leaves me to say thank you to everyone for attending tonight. Hopefully it's been a short but very informative webinar for everybody. Hopefully it makes everybody keen to sign up for the programme. I hope everybody has a good evening and stay safe. I hope everybody does stay safe as we move into our second lockdown. Good night, everybody.